Hey, Mike Callahan back once again, SA Weekly Talk Show. Special guest this week, Lisa Marino of Service Autopilot. If you missed it last week, had a huge episode with Jonathan Potoshnak, the co-founder of Service Autopilot. And be honest, first time I met Lisa was last week when we were helping out the Academy members for the SA Academy. And Lisa was such a rock star that I had to twist her arm to get her on live today. So Lisa, really appreciate your time. I know you guys are pretty crazy over there at SA right now with some of the things going on. Some of the releases. Little background on Lisa is has a background in marketing, product development with small and medium businesses, created educational courses for these small and medium businesses to help teach them how to use certain things along digital marketing and other facets. And has run, if the stats are right, well over 1,000 Facebook ads and has a really deep background in digital marketing. So really excited to have Lisa on here. Lisa, if I probably didn't do that justice, open it up, but if you can give us a little more background on yourself, and we're rolling some of the pre-submitted questions that people had for us.
No, Mike, you did a great job. That is absolutely true. Everything that you said is right. Even the 1,000 Facebook ads, we've actually probably surpassed that at this point. Like you said, long history in marketing, product development, product marketing. Great thing about it is that over the years, I've been able to work with all different types of entrepreneurs, all different types of business owners, and really get to learn what drives them, what their pain points are, and how we can use digital marketing specifically to help them out. Because I did have a good start back in the day, I've been able to see how marketing has changed from everything that we've done print-wise to now taking everything we've learned from copywriting skills and what worked in direct mail and everything from even radio and newspaper, and have been able to translate that into a digital environment these days. So Facebook advertising, email marketing, pay-per-click, anything like that.
Awesome. And I know one of the things I wasn't able to catch your whole presentation at SA, but one of the big topics you got in, which just absolutely blew me away, the parts that I was seeing, was email marketing in the different parts of the successful email campaign, how to actually approach that with different laws as far as camp spam, how to actually talk to the consumer at different parts of the life cycle as far as if they're a lead or a consumer. Want to give a quick shout out to Ring-a-Ding, Brian Ring from Minnesota there watching live, longtime listener. But as we dive into that, Lisa, would you mind kind of diving into email marketing as far as best practice? And if we haven't done any email marketing in our lawn care, home cleaning business, or if we're a veteran and looking to retool that whole process for better results, what's the best approach from the ground up?
So really, I mean, the first thing is just start wherever you need to start, even if it's with one email. Email is never just one email and done, but start with one, right? We got to get something out there. If you're not currently using email, definitely consider it, because we were showing some stats last week about just how many, like the billions of email addresses that are out there. People are constantly checking their email all day long. There were stats from where they check their email, and the first thing you want to do, and if we could just kind of break it down real quick, is you want to focus on your audience, your offer, and your call to action that goes with that offer, and your cadence of how many times you're going to send that email out, over how many days. Really, the first thing you want to, like I said, think about is your offer. Is this something that is a promotional offer? Is it a new service? So think about it this way. Email marketing can be used for all different types of things. If you have a new service that you want to promote, if you have existing clients that you want to upsell them into a different service, if there is a seasonal offer that's out there, you can also use email marketing for that. So the first thing you want to think about is, what is that offer? And are you going to be providing a discount with that offer? And think about your message from there. And then, who is your audience? Is this existing clients where they already have an established relationship with you? They know a little bit about you. You're probably not going to have to go into the background of your company and who you are too much in that email, so you can go straight into your offer. If it's a lead list that you're targeting, they don't know that much about you. Maybe you want to start with talking about your company a little more and about your guarantee that you offer. And then from there, you move into your offer. All of that is centered around a very strong, what we call a CTA, a call to action in your email. We're all familiar with those. It's the button usually that you see in an email that will say, click here, download this, get my coupon. So those are really the driving things you want to think about when you start email marketing, and then build out your emails from there. We like to do something called a drip campaign. It's basically a series of emails that build on intensity, build on urgency. Sometimes you have an offer that may only be good for a certain amount of time. You want to start your emails kind of slow, do one, maybe 3 days later, do another, maybe 4 days later, do another. And then as your deadline approaches, you're going to start sending a few more emails. Do one that's like the day before your deadline ends. Hey, offer ends tomorrow. And then the day of, offer ends today, really focusing on the urgency of that offer.
Wow. And if anybody's listened, the detail that Lisa just went into is I couldn't agree with more. It's in other circles, it's considered life cycle marketing. You're talking to that particular that person where they're at in that life cycle of a customer.
Yep.
Great email that just comes to mind, and kind of a shameless plug to SA's SA5 conference coming up, is they had an email that went out at 8 or 9 o'clock last night for a special. They were running the tickets. They were showing scarcity. How many were left? You have 4 hours to get this special thing to promote that click through, that CTA, to actually click that button and go through. So I love the fact, Lisa, that you're going through and you're segmenting your conversation where they're at in that life cycle, and particular to maybe the specific service or pain point they may be having. So kind of overcome those sales and price objections or concerns with hiring a contractor. So really interesting to see, once you start doing that, how your conversions actually are more effective and those emails are. One thing I did want to ask, though, as you dove into that, and I think you hit on it, one of the biggest things that we see, at least, is people trying to get perfection. And my biggest thing is first draft better than no draft. As you're using that email marketing, are you tracking things as far as like email click links? So if you're not familiar with that, watching, maybe you click a link and it applies a tag or segments you. So if you choose your own adventure, so you went path A or path B, we could have a different conversation, and then maybe tracking how effective that email marketing, or similar to an A/B split test or 2 different copies. At what point is that applicable? I'm assuming it's probably not off the bat. Maybe you want to get it out there and just see what works and then test different variations.
Yeah, definitely get just one email out there and see how it does. The things you want to look at immediately are your open rate and your click-through rate. That's how many people are opening the email and how many people are actually clicking on a link that's in the email. And then I would get a few of those under your belt first and just kind of see what those stats look like. The next thing you can do is the A/B testing that you were talking about, where you're going to go ahead and you're going to test a subject line. Now, here's the thing when testing emails, only test one component of that email at a time. So what you want to do is you can test your subject line and see if changing the subject line is going to be a win for you. You can even actually, once you get to that point, like get a few emails under your belt first, and then you can actually take your audience list and split it in 2 even parts and send the same content in your email to one group with one subject line, and then a different subject line with the same content in your email to that group. Whichever subject line gets the most open rates, that's the one that's going to be your winner. And then you can go ahead and you can test your call to action. You can test the content. You can even test images, where you're just changing one component at a time and then seeing which one is the winner out of those. And it's important to track those results, even if you just keep a spreadsheet of the different campaigns that you run. We were just working on that earlier this morning, actually, devising a spreadsheet where the more campaigns that we run, the more we're going to want to, at a glance, see the different campaigns and be able to track. We get into even things like days of the week and times of day, and tracking that. That's something for you to look at eventually, as well as what day of the week are your customers opening your emails more, or what time of day are they opening more. Even looking at the clicks, are they more likely to click through in an email in the morning or in the evening? And that's something that I just kind of want to point out too, while we're talking about that, is you can have a really great open rate. You really want to see a great click-through rate too. If you have an open rate of, and I'm just going to use some small numbers here, let's say 20 people open one email and 3 people click through on that email. But another email you send out, maybe only 15 people open it, but 7 people click through. It's really those click-throughs, right? Because those are the people who are going to take advantage of your offer. So those are different things you can learn from there as well, and being able to definitely test different things and watch those results.
Awesome. So if I'm having a firm understanding, we really want to start out with the basics and then kind of dive into it. And as we're starting to change those marketing pieces, A/B split tests, whatever you want to call it, we're going to change one thing at a time and see what's going to be most effective. So
absolutely,
right out the gate, you don't want to be the Ryan Dice, the Dan Kennedy, or even Jonathan Petoshnak, the lawn care millionaire. One and done, see what works, and then evolve out. But that's going to be a multi-year process.
We want to get to those points. we want to get to be those people, those masterminds, right? Who have done everything there is and learned everything there is about marketing. And so we start slow. The thing is, just get out there and do it and try it. So, send an email. Email is one of the most cost-effective means of marketing. And if you're not utilizing it, I think you absolutely should be. Real quick, I see a question that came in. Richard wanted to talk about the idea of the fact that we're constantly being bombarded with emails every day, right? We actually email after email in our inbox. And he wanted to know, is this traditional marketing by means of mailbox, like direct mail, an overlooked approach, even to existing clients? I think that's a kind of a great segue into talking about direct mail a little bit here, because the fact that, just is exactly what we were talking about in my intro about everything we've learned from a print perspective and translating it into digital. What we're learning from digital perspectives can now be translated back into print. For a long time, it was believed that direct mail was dead. And it kind of was for a little bit, because every time you'd go to your mailbox, you would have like a stack this big of, junk mail coming in. It would be, and you'd kind of have to sift through everything and figure out what you really needed to keep. Well, more and more, because it wasn't working anymore, people stopped doing direct mail. And with digital became a cheaper, quicker way to market to your audience. And because of that, if you've noticed over the years, your direct mail is less and less. I don't get nearly bombarded into my mailbox like I used to. So because of that, direct mail is actually making a really good comeback. And if you can come up with just even a really great postcard, it is definitely an effective means. Again, direct mail is something that I think is fantastic because it sticks around, right? A lot of people sift through their mail and they will kind of go through immediately and say, okay, they have their piles, right? Here's the bill pile. Here's the pile I'm going to throw away. And then here's that other pile that I'm going to keep because I want to read this. And I'm going to sit down finally and read this at some point. And that's usually where a lot of our promotional pieces end up. And it's great because it gives a wider canvas that sticks around. I take stuff like that and I tack it up on the refrigerator, and it sticks around. And it's a constant reminder. If somebody has it sitting on their kitchen counter or up on their refrigerator, it's just that constant reminder that you're there. I mean, even if it's something that, a magnet that you attach to a postcard that, boom, with your phone number on it, your website on it, and throw the magnet up on the fridge. I'm always in need of more magnets. So
it's almost an emotional connection. So I know before we shifted to completely doing estimates over the phone, I'd go up to a house and do an estimate. This lady would pull out a hard, multi-panel EDM piece we had from 3 years ago. Oh, I saw you guys last year and this year, and I finally decided to call. But she had this in for 3 years in her desk drawer. So it was there seemed to be some kind of emotional connection. And one of the things that we find a lot of SAUs are doing is mailing out lead letters. So once we've actually acquired that customer, they send out a piece of paper that says these are the 5 or 6 reasons why we're different. And I will tell you, just about every time I went to that door to do an estimate, they had that in their hand, and they had already decided they were going to buy no matter what the price was, if it was reasonable. So I think kind of like you're saying, there's just that emotional connection, that physicality of having that. It's a different engagement. And some people are into video, some people are in the long copy. Some people are going to be more engaged in a hard piece mail they can actually hold and read.
Yeah. And I think, obviously when it's a lead crowd that we're going after, somebody who doesn't know about us, it's a great piece. But I think even from an existing client perspective, there are two roads you can go down with that. One road is going to be to upsell them into an additional service, or the other road is going to be almost kind of like a welcome. Like even the idea of a magnet, it seems so kind of old school to do something like that, but it's true because it keeps it in front of them. If it's a new client, you can get literally a postcard that has like a magnet that glued to it so that they can put that up there. And that way, they need, if they're not someone who's doing a continual service with you, then at least it's always top of mind for them.
So, and as you're diving in there, I can't help but ask, you're basically using multi-channel marketing to do this now. Now, is it important to have AdSense or have the same exact kind of feel and copy? Because I know in the digital marketing, if you go from a Facebook ad to a landing page, they call that AdSense. So you want it to feel and look the same, and that will help it will basically hurt your conversion rate if it doesn't have the same feel. So if we're doing Facebook ads, EDM, door hangers, and different types of direct mail, is it important to have the same AdSense and the same marketing feel with consistency as a brand?
It absolutely is. I mean, you brought up a really good point. So first of all, we got multi-channel marketing, and I am a huge proponent of multi-channel marketing. And basically what that means is you're using multiple media channels out there to get the same message across. So if you're going to do a Facebook ad, do an email campaign with it. If you're handing out door hangers, do an email campaign with it. Whatever campaigns you're doing, do a combined effort. Don't rely on just one channel to communicate with your audience. Always combine multiple channels at the same time so that when they go to their mailbox, they're seeing something about you. When they're browsing Facebook, they're seeing something about you. When they go to check their email, they're seeing an email from you. So what you want to do is, just like you said, with an email and a landing page, same thing. If you're going to do a combined approach like that, whatever text you're using, whatever images you're using, your colors, which should be on brand. That means, right, that they match your whatever colors you have in your logo and on your website. Make sure that the ads you're designing for Facebook, the emails that you're designing, the door hangers, the direct mail, make sure everything is using the same offer, the same look and feel, so that it's resonating with them more. So if you're going to do a seasonal offer, make sure that your Facebook ads match your email, that match your direct mail piece, that match everything that's on your landing page, and direct all of those outlets to your landing page.
Awesome. And one of the hottest topics right now in the service industry, lawn care, home cleaning, pest control, is are certain channels converting better than others? And I think there's a huge debate, especially in lawn care, that Facebook ads just don't work, and that's why not many people are doing it. So I'm curious your thoughts on that. I got a couple of stats ballpark that I dug up last week for our talk at SA. But what are your thoughts on the specific channels that may or may not be converting? And is that why people aren't using Facebook? What's the story there?
No, I think people aren't using Facebook because they just don't realize how much it works. Last week we were doing a really cool exercise where we were with a great group of business owners and trying to look up their competitors on Facebook. When you go to Facebook on a desktop or a laptop computer, it won't work on your mobile device. But if you're on it from a desktop perspective, they now have a new section where you basically, on the left-hand side, you scroll down and you'll be able to see it's a section about advertising, and you can see what ads a company is running. It has to be ads that are currently running. If it ran a couple of months ago, it won't show on there. So it's currently running. So we were asking people to give us the names of their competitors so we can go check out what the competitors are doing to see if we can learn anything. And we were surprised to see how many of their competitors weren't using Facebook. And it's not that it's not working. It's just that people don't realize the impact. It's amazing to me that people still don't realize the impact that Facebook has. Especially, I think when you're talking about a lawn care perspective or a cleaning company or anything like that, where you're targeting people. You're not targeting, sometimes, we have commercial clients, right? But mostly you're targeting an individual. from that residential perspective. So especially when you're trying to target someone from that area, oh my gosh, like people are on Facebook all the time. I think the stat is something like people check Facebook like 40 times a day. It's ridiculous. And that keeps just climbing and climbing. So it's amazing to see how much people are on Facebook, and it's a captive audience. They are in their news feed. I mean, everything on Facebook is within Facebook now, right? You click on an article, you click on a video, and everything stays within that platform. So advertising, it's the same thing. Facebook is really kind to local advertisers. You'll see that. It's amazing how you can, I mean, we could spend another hour talking about just how to target people on Facebook. But you'll see that after you go to a new city, all of a sudden you're being targeted with ads for restaurants or businesses in that area that you were just in. Could be an area you literally just drove through. But they're able to target you with that. And that is definitely working. Email I read blogs every single day on the value of email marketing. And I mean, it hasn't died, and it's not dying anytime soon.
And just give some context, Lisa. I don't know if they can see that screen here, but one of our fellow listeners here, Garrett Matthews and Matthews Landscape, if you see her up in the corner on the mobile, they actually did just add it. There's an I, and it says info and ads. When you click on that, this actually came out of the Cambridge Analytical debate with Mark Zuckerberg and Zucks and Congress. And the reason why they had this originally was to basically be checking out political associations and ads. But now, as Lisa pointed out, this is a great competitive advantage because now you can do strategic analysis of your competitors, what's working and not working. So if they have these ads on there for a long time, obviously it's probably working. So they got the page info off to the side here, but on the other side we got active ads. So Garrett's always running 6 or 7 ads here, and see if I can kind of zoom in on this. But you can literally see now all of Garrett's ads. So if I'm Garrett's competitor, or Garrett's looking at other people, you can go in and now see exactly what these ads here are running. You can't see the ad set of the money he's putting at it, but there's a good idea of what's working and not working in there. And if you're doing a competitive analysis, none of your competitors are doing it, and you're dialing the certain demographics and geo areas, it's probably gonna be a lot cheaper conversion doing that. So Lisa, huge, this just came out probably in the last month.
As a marketer, like, that totally geeks me out because we now see we never had vision like that before. It was, you would always try to get their ads, meaning like you go to visit their website and hope that you were being retargeted on Facebook to see their ads, and maybe you'd see 1 or 2 here. But now that you can actually do that, like, I love the visibility, and I think it's going to step up the game. It steps up everybody's game at that point, and to see what your competitor's doing. And if you see that your competitors are doing really rock star ads, you're like, all right, maybe I need to step my game up a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
and one of the that Garrett finds a lot of success, as well as myself and a few others that we run in the same circles, is matching the paid advertising with organic content, just showing people how to do it, not going out to a cold audience asking for that conversion, but going out and just giving that information up front and making yourself that expert through giving free information away. And you mentioned website, the component of that. And I think that might be an interesting conversation into this as we go is if we're pushing them to our website, what I'm assuming there's websites are still relevant, which I would think, what components on your website are relevant to converting ads and at least capturing leads that aren't ready to convert? So are there certain things that I should have on my website if I'm just building out or revamping? I know a lot of the people that we've been working with at Simple Growth as an SA certified advisor. A lot of people are in the game right now, mid-season, to revamp their website. So I think this would be really relevant to a lot of the listeners. What components are essential, and what kind of components should we be looking to be ahead of our competitors in the future?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, you have to have a website these days to be anywhere in the picture, in the game. Couple of things is, we talk about wanting to make a connection with our audience, and especially from that organic perspective, and positioning yourself as an authority. I think that's really critical in the businesses that we're talking about, because you do want to make sure that your audience believes that you know your stuff. And with that comes trust, and with that trust usually comes sales conversions. So definitely make sure you have an About Us video on your homepage. Don't be afraid to jump out there and start making videos. So let's just, let kind of get that out there, because you have to be doing videos right now in order to make yourself really recognizable. You talked about what can we do going forward, right? What's going to set us apart? What's the big thing? It's video marketing right now. So do an About Us video where you're talking to the camera, you're letting them know what your business is, how long you've been in business, why you started your business. We want a personal story. We want to make a connection with you. In that video, if you can, get a little editing savvy, put some images in the video, show your team at work, talk about your core services. Doesn't have to be a long video. We're talking about a minute or two, just who you are and what your business is all about. Have that on your homepage. The other thing you want to do is have an offer, what we call above the fold, on the homepage. So above the fold means anything that when you first land on the website, it's going to be from here up, right? Anything that.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So that was my next question. I'm assuming that video and the offer, the call to action, needs to be above that fold.
Call to action, absolutely. Video, preferably, it depends on how your website's laid out. If you can get that video and that offer even side by side. Some people have an offer right at the bottom. And when we say an offer, usually it's going to be, call to get a free estimate. Maybe there's something specific, a discount of sorts that you have going at the time, depending upon your business. But have a form box where they can enter in their name, their email address, or their phone number. Definitely name and email address. Phone number, people are sometimes leery. If you can leave out the phone number, fine. At least capture an email address. But try to do name, email address, phone number. I always make a phone number box optional too. Again, that's debatable, but sometimes people, like I said, depending upon what you're trying to do as an offer, maybe it's just a piece of content that they're downloading. Let's say you have some sort of a PDF out there with different lawn care tips on there. Sometimes people are just more comfortable just giving an email address, not a phone number. If it's a quote that they're looking for, more than likely they're going to be okay with giving you their phone number because they want to be in contact with you. They want to hear from you. So go ahead and have that box up there, have your call to action, have a very relevant series of text and bullet points and images. There we go. We've got, and Mike, can everybody see that the way that's screen's up there now?
That's on the screen. That's actually off Jonathan's company, City Turf. We've got the video on the left and his satisfaction guarantee. So he's got that risk reversal. He's taking the risk out of it, and it's all above the fold. He must have just updated this. So he had the same video for probably the last 8 or 9 years in there. It was kind of quirky. I can show you mine too as well. But it doesn't matter. That first draft is better than no draft. Ryan Dice is half-ass is better than no ass. So it just put it out there. It works. People are going to resonate with that. When I was going to the front door for these estimates, people are like, you're the guy on the website. Absolutely. Or I want to talk to the guy on the website. So don't be concerned how bad it is. You don't have to get crazy with the lighting and everything. Get it up there and then try to perfect one later. But these things work. I'm sorry to cut you off. I just want to throw up an example. You can see what we're actually talking about here.
No, I'm glad you pulled that up. Yep. And we see, we've got the phone number prominent. We've got the logo prominent. Everything is front and center. We have locations listed of areas that we service. I mean, I think that just being able to get elements like that will take you just like light years ahead. Like if you don't have a video and you end up putting a video on there, it's just going to kick you way up a notch. But the other thing is, consider putting more videos, on your site, and definitely that's really is going to be the key to setting you apart. It used to be that a blog would set you apart, and now it's more videos out there, and it can be, it doesn't. You talk about setting yourself as an authority figure. It can just be, something simple. It doesn't have to be a long 20-minute video. We're talking about quick videos of showing people how to do things that are just going to position you as someone who knows their stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. I just want to show that example there. And even if it's not perfect, it's going to have that emotional connection and differentiate you from the local competition. So as we're talking about these website components, is there anything else that we've missed at this point that we should be doing? One thing off the top of my head, and I know this is kind of far out, but as we were talking about Facebook marketing that, should people be installing this Facebook pixel to be able to track and retarget website visitors maybe to each page, or what are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. The pixel is just such a great feature that Facebook has. Pixel is basically, once you go into your ads manager in Facebook, you'll be able to access this piece of code that gets placed on your website. So if you've got somebody handling your site for you, a web developer, if you send this code over to them with the instructions that Facebook provides, it should be really easy for them to put the pixel on there. The pixel allows for all sorts of things. It allows tracking. So from a conversion standpoint, you could then actually track your conversions from your Facebook ad, meaning you run a Facebook ad, somebody clicks on the ad, it goes to a landing page, and there's a form for them to fill out on that landing page, and they fill out the form. It will track that conversion back in Facebook so that you can see how many people are actually filling out the form. The other thing the pixel allows you to do is to retarget your audience. So you could actually, with that pixel on the page, anybody who visits your website can then actually be funneled back into a campaign for Facebook. So that pixel tags that person and allows you to run ads and deliver ads to that group of people. You can even go as far as to build lookalike audiences off of those people. It's just a great way of keeping track of who's visiting your site, conversions that are happening, and being able to use that information to deliver ads. Somebody hits your website and then they go on Facebook and they start seeing your ads. So it's just a great full circle that we have of marketing.
Awesome. At least to put some context, this is actually off my website, but as far as the videos and how you can use these, this is our landscape maintenance page. So we have a specific ability to retarget anybody who's interested in landscape maintenance, to retarget because we know they're interested in that. But as you were talking about videos here, we've got every type of service we have in a video specific. So we're going to tell them what's included, what's not included, overcoming the specific sales and price objections to create that meaningful conversation. So a lot of business owners, including myself, don't have the time to go out and personally do this stuff. So we're going to replicate ourselves through video, go in, provide that education, and then let that pixel go out and warm that audience up again. And you have the ability in a product like Service Autopilot to export a list of your customers and upload them as a custom audience and retarget them. So if it's the same email that they signed up with Facebook that they gave you, you can go out and segment those lists and, just like you said, create those lookalike audience to grow that base. But this is one of the things, and you can see some of these videos are shot in my living room, the disaster of the office behind me. They don't have to be perfect, but they work. And instead of them having to call the office or at 10 o'clock at night when they actually get to that estimate, we actually take these videos now and embed them in the bottom of our essay estimate. So replicating ourselves through technology and be able to provide relevant information 24 hours a day through that video has been really helpful. So I think diving in is just the next level of that video marketing and communication. A product like SA is really powerful because it's allowing you to embed those videos where it's appropriate in that customer life cycle, in that conversation.
And you take those videos and then we talk about the multi-channel marketing. Get that video done and then put it up on your website, put it in a Facebook ad. You put it in any social channel that you have. You can even put it in an email campaign. You can't embed a video in an email necessarily. There are some email platforms that just won't allow that to play. So what you would actually do is you would take just a still image from the video and then link that image to wherever your video is hosted, whether that's on your website or if you have a YouTube channel, start building your YouTube channel and putting your videos out there. But yeah, definitely those videos can be utilized in a lot of different ways. And that's, I think to be super relevant right now, that's really what you need to be doing is putting more videos out there. And like Mike said, don't be afraid to just get out there. They don't have to be super polished. They can just be real quick. Practice a couple of times, right? Do a video that, do a run through with somebody, have somebody there with you and, critiquing you and giving you some pointers along the way. Just get out and do one.
It is the most awkward thing. So a lot of people that I talk to at the conferences or even in Academy, they're like, you're so polished, like it must not bother you. Like you're just, you go out and just crush these videos out. Well, I will be completely honest. Every time I get in front of this camera, it is awkward. It's uncomfortable and I don't want to do it. And the only reason I started doing it is because my grammar literally is awful. And in order to get my content out when I'm writing these, these posts, and occasionally I'm sure you guys see some of the typos out there, but first draft better than no draft. So I had to use video because I could get it out to people quicker without having to rely on other people to actually edit the grammatical stuff behind the scenes. So when I'm writing these articles for Lawn and Landscape Magazine, it may take a month and a half to actually get that article buttoned up because that's not my strong suit. So even if video isn't your strong suit, just get out there and do it. It doesn't matter. And if no one else in your market's doing it, it doesn't matter how quirky the video is. It's better than everybody else. And the thing is, the more quirky it is, people relate to it. They don't want this polished actor. They want to be able to relate to the person down the street that's actually going to show up and do the work or owns the company that's going to do the work. And I don't know about you, Lisa, but even like public speaking, like, we've got to do it, but it doesn't matter if it's 5 people or 500 people in the convention. Those first 3 to 5 minutes, it's butterfly time, and it's the same thing in front of this camera. I don't see everybody watching this, but we'll have 1,000 people watching this by the end of the day. So my advice is just get out there and do it first draft and put it live. And if you want to redo it, replace it, but put it out there. Don't wait for that perfection.
No, and you're right, Mike. It's no matter how many training classes I've conducted, no matter how many business folks I've talked to, I've even had a few celebrities that I've worked with in the day that I've been able to sit in front of and have been amazing to work with. And it doesn't matter. You're right. 5 or 5,000, you still get a little nervous. So even, those of us who are putting videos out or doing talks like this, we still get nervous, and it's nothing. I always like to think I know this is probably going to make me sound so corny, but I always think of Barbara Streisand, because Barbara Streisand, what some people never realize is the amount of stage fright. And that's why she never toured extensively, because she has such a crazy stage fright that no matter how great her voice is, no matter how many thousands of people are out there that know how amazing she is, it still frightens her to death to get in front of people. So don't feel like you're in a minority on that one. Just go ahead and get your videos done.
Yeah, and I know you've got obviously a very compressed schedule, Lisa, so I appreciate you joining us. Challenge of the week: if you haven't made a video, post the video, share it below here so we can all see it, and get it live on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Use those platforms. And as you're doing it, like Lisa said, 1.5 to 2 minutes, but as you're first starting, maybe keep it a minute and under so you can repurpose that video, because Instagram and some of these other platforms have a constraint of how long that video is. So maybe just make it a minute and under, and you can post it on all the different platforms. So as we're closing up, Lisa, is there any books, education that you've been diving into lately? I know the SA community is always hungry to go out and outlearn their competition. So as we're closing up, kind of putting you on the spot, but do you have any resources that you would recommend that people are watching this, they want to go step up their marketing game?
Actually, one of the great resources that I've used over the years is, and I'm trying to think of exactly the name of the site. I want to say it's like B2 Community, maybe the web address for it, or B2C Community.
Something put that in the show notes. So that's
I will, because oh my gosh, that site has such wonderful knowledge about marketing, every form of marketing for small to medium-sized businesses who are directly targeting consumers. And I think it's a great place to start to kind of dig through. If you have any questions on anything, it's a great resource for me. I go to it all the time to kind of keep up with what's going on, not only in the industry, but it gives you great advice, like really in-depth articles, the 5 do's and don'ts of writing great subject lines, or, how to, the 8 best ways to start video marketing. I mean, they really have some really great, all from a business perspective, your business perspective. So I think that's a really great site. I'll put the link in the comments here.
Awesome. Really appreciate it, Lisa. It was a pleasure meeting you in person last week.
Thank you, Mike.
Can't say good enough stuff about you guys over at SA and yourself, obviously. Next week, in the following weeks, keep an eye out on the Facebook post. We're bringing in some experts for mergers and acquisitions. I know it's a hot topic right now in the SA community. People going out and buying or selling companies. Landed a couple of huge heavy hitters that I met out at the Lawn and Landscape Magazine Top 100 conference out in Colorado this year. So one or two of the gentlemen are actually going to be joining us and asking or answering live questions on if you're building a business to sell it, or you're in the process of doing that, or if you're going to go out and acquire one of your competitors. Hot topic right now. A lot of private equity coming into the lawn care and home cleaning space. So keep an eye out until next Wednesday or Thursday. Mike Callahan, Lisa Marino. Lisa, thanks again, and tell everybody at SA we said hello.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate it.